Hello, and thank you for becoming a dealer for the Yamaha WX7 Wind MIDI controller. This package will help you display and demonstrate the WX7, as well as give your customers the important setup information vital to their success and enjoyment. In addition to the sales training tape, there's another tape for in-store use. The second tape features live performance that shows the WX7's performance possibilities. This package also includes an extensive sales training manual that goes into more depth in the tape. And at the end of the manual is a test. I'll tell you more about that at the end of the tape. Your presenter today is Avery Burdette, District Manager and former Product Specialist for DMI Division of Yamaha Music Corporation. Now, although primarily a keyboard player for some 15 years, Avery played woodwinds in high school and as a music major in college. Avery?
We here at Yamaha are very excited about a new generation of MIDI control made possible by the WX7 Wind MIDI controller. Now the woodwind player has the ability to expressively control the virtually infinite palette of sounds that keyboard players have come to take for granted. By woodwind player, I'm talking about saxophone, clarinet, flute, and even oboe, bassoon, or English horn. Imagine how exciting it can be for a woodwind player to now be able to play virtually any sound that can be synthesized or sampled, and to be able to play two parts at once or even chords. This includes big horn section voicings, orchestral chords, percussive sounds, and all with complete dynamic control. I'd like to point out that this is not an unfamiliar instrument, and it does not require learning a new or foreign technique. I've been playing the WX7 since it was introduced in late 1987, and I can't put it down. It's just too much fun. First, in order to effectively sell the WX7, we need to talk about the many aspects of the complete WX7 system. The display stand that comes with the point of purchase kit is designed to let you have the system up and running, ready to demo very conveniently. Here's how to set up the display rack. First, assemble the rack display following the instructions included with the package, noting that the brackets which hold the WX7 are installed with the top rack mount device. This top rack mount device is the Yamaha SPX 50D signal processor. This is an important part of the WX7 system. Then we have the TX81Z tone generator, which is a perfect tone generator for the WX7. The last requirement is the mixer, and I recommend using a KM602 for several reasons. First, it's inexpensive. Second, it contains an additional chorus effect. Third, it has a send and return for the SPX. And fourth, a headphone output. Consult the sales guide for audio and MIDI wiring diagrams. It's very basic. Although the options for the tone generators, signal processing, and so on are virtually unlimited, this is an inexpensive yet versatile and great sounding system. I also have a full-blown WX system for your high-end professionals. More on that later. Now, let's take a quick tour of the WX7. First, we have the mouthpiece and the reed. Then 4 controls for adjusting playing response, 8 dip switches, 5 octave transpose keys, a pitch bend wheel for the right-hand thumb, as well as a hold key and a program change key. Then the DC MIDI connector to the power pack, the WX7 power pack. On the other side, we have the standard 14-key Bohm system layout. A necessary and critical aspect of the WX7 system is the voicing of the tone generator. By that, I mean that the voices and performances in the TX81Z need to be programmed to respond properly to the vast amount of control and expression the WX7 is capable of producing. To accomplish this, we provided you with a complete set of DemoSoft voices that will allow for an extremely effective demonstration. There are 2 ways to load your TX81Z. First, we have the data cassette. The details for this procedure are in both the TX81Z manual and the DemoSoft documentation. Second, there is the MIDI bulk load from the MDR function of the DX7-2FD disk drive. These instructions and voices are in the DemoSoft package and are also contained in your master disk collection of multiple system DemoSoft. Once these loading procedures are accomplished, we need to talk about what makes an effective WX7 voice. Dynamic volume control by breath is one of the most basic expressions of wind instruments. The same is true for the WX7 when the voice you are playing is sensitive to this. Parameters such as breath control, aftertouch, and MIDI volume allow this vital dynamic control. The voices you've now loaded into the TX81Z are programmed to take full advantage of the powerful and expressive capabilities of the WX7. Finally, the signal processing part of the system is incorporated to provide ambience and the effects that make the voice sound natural, and to provide the studio types of effects to make the instrument more effective. Supporting documentation on this is included in your DemoSoft package also. One of the most important goals of this video is to show you how to set up the WX7. This is crucial in allowing the player to feel comfortable and to realize that this is not an unfamiliar instrument that requires learning a new technique. In adjusting the playing response of the instrument, we need to detail these 4 parameters and understand what they are and how they are adjusted. It is also necessary to know how these relate to acoustic wind instruments. Please take note because the following information is a little different from the earlier documentation. First, the 2 uppermost controls, wind zero and wind gain. The wind zero control sets the amount or threshold of breath which causes the instrument to play. This determines when the note will speak. The wind gain control determines the range of dynamic or volume changes your wind pressure is capable of producing. These parameters are straightforward, easily understood, and adjusted, and in the case of wind zero, useful for helping to set up the next 2 parameters. Lip zero and lip gain allow us to customize the embouchure or lip position. In what we call the tight lip mode, the WX7 can be set up to require the same embouchure as the player's acoustic instrument. And for those not desiring an embouchure, the WX7 offers what we call the loose lip mode. The tight lip mode requires the lower lip to exert pressure on the reed in order to center or neutralize the pitch bend information to produce concert pitch. This is what we know as the dead zone. The player then has the ability to bend the pitch up by tightening the lip and bend down by loosening. The loose lip mode allows only upward pitch bend and requires no lip pressure to achieve concert pitch. This mode is also useful for the player who uses a very stiff reed and a very strong embouchure. The advantage here is no pitch bend regardless of lip pressure. Here's the procedure to achieve proper setup in the loose lip mode. First, make sure that the power is off on the WX7 power pack and all 8 dip switches are in their left or off position. More on the dip switches later. Now turn dip switch number 8 on and power up. Now select Play Single Voice number 5, Trumpet 1.1 on the TX81Z. In order to hear the pitch and tune it, we'll have to turn wind zero counterclockwise until a continuous C sharp is heard with no keys depressed. With the lip zero fully clockwise, turn the lip zero control counterclockwise. Stop turning when the pitch goes up. Then turn the lip zero clockwise until the pitch stabilizes at C sharp. This produces the smallest possible dead zone. Now, any pressure whatsoever on the reed will bend the pitch up. If your playing style puts pressure on the reed, put the WX7 in your mouth and apply the lip pressure you normally use. You will notice a change in pitch. Now turn lip zero clockwise until there is no difference between the continuous C sharp and your normal lip pressure. You have just set your dead zone. Lip gain now controls the amount of pitch bend available by applying more pressure on the reed, which is the only option available in the loose lip mode. Now we want to get rid of the continuous note by turning the wind zero control clockwise to the threshold required. The more wind pressure you use, the more clockwise the adjustment. This and all of these procedures are fully documented step by step in the WX7 sales guide. I find that wind gain is generally set in its middle ranges to produce a normal sensitivity. Please feel free to experiment with all these controls, as there is no way to maladjust the instrument to the point of no return. The more you experiment and become familiar with these controls and their functions, the quicker and easier setups will be. Next, the tight lip mode. And please note that this is a different procedure than in some of the earlier documentation. Power down and set dip switch number 8 to its left or off position. If the loose lip switch is off, tight lip mode is selected. Power up and preset lip zero fully clockwise and lip gain fully counterclockwise. Now select single voice number 5, trumpet 1.1 on your TX81Z. You now need a tuning reference. I use a DX7 synthesizer, but any pitch source will do. Play a concert G on your tuning source and a G on the WX7. I chose G because this allows me to play and hold the WX with my left hand while adjusting with my right. With the desired pressure on the reed, adjust lip zero until you are in tune. Then adjust lip gain to a proper pitch bend depth so that vibrato is easily achieved with a comfortable motion of the lip. Because these two controls are interactive, it will be necessary to go back to lip zero and again tune to concert pitch. At this point, you may want to tweak the lip gain to assure a comfortable dead zone. An alternate method is detailed in the sales guide. Again, I want to emphasize that you should not be afraid to experiment with these controls. You cannot damage the WX7. And as these adjustments become much easier and faster, you'll be able to quickly set up the WX7 for any player. Now, I'd like to play some of the voices included in your demo soft. The idea is that you can simulate any woodwind player's technique while expanding their opportunities through MIDI. Dip switches 1 and 2 allow the WX7 to be compatible with virtually any tone generator that will respond to breath control, aftertouch, or MIDI volume. Switches 3 and 4 transpose the WX7 to standard wind instrument keys. Instructions for the setup of these switches are detailed in your sales guide and owner's manual. Now, one of the most unique and powerful features of the WX7, and an important part of any demonstration. Dip switches number 5 and 6 control the 4 key hold modes that are engaged using the hold key. This is best understood by example. Hold mode number 1, normal hold, single channel drone, sensitive to breath. Second, mode number 2, follow mode, last note priority. Now, hold mode number 3 is dual channel, no breath mode, which means that the note you are playing is sustained at the level you are playing when the key hold button is depressed. It then sustains until the key hold button is depressed again. Modes 3 and 4 require a performance set up for 2 MIDI channels. The fourth and final hold mode is dual channel breath sensitive mode. This mode differs from mode 3 in that the held note is sensitive to breath. Dip switch number 7 changes the breath response curve, and dip switch number 8, covered earlier, is for loose lip or tight lip mode selection. A very powerful addition to the WX7 system is the MFC2 MIDI foot controller. This was designed specifically for the WX7 and adds many capabilities, such as access to 240 programs, 16 MIDI channel assignment, transposition to any key, 7 extra key hold modes with foot pedal control, and automated program changes. A big plus for live performance. I'm going to move on to the full-blown system and some performances I use in my clinics. This system has, from top to bottom, a TX81Z, a TX802, an MV802, an SPX90 Mark II, and a Rev 5. And now for some tricks. First, the TX81Z's chord effect feature, which allows us to program a different 4-note chord for each step of the chromatic scale. Next is the transpose delay effect. For this performance, I'm going to use the MFC2, which lets me implement the chord hold feature with a foot pedal. This performance uses a TX81Z preset clavinet sound combined with a breath-controlled pad on channel 2. Now, I'll use different pitch bend values for the voices and key hold mode 2, which is the follow mode. With this performance, we can easily go from playing a single note to a 4-note chord. The last and most simple but very effective trick uses both the TX81Z and the TX802. It is a simple split that uses in the lower octaves a bass voice and in the upper octaves of the WX7 a horn section chord. So you can see how impressive this WX7 system is. Using what we've talked about and heard, in a very short time you should be demoing the WX7 for your customers. Who are the WX7 customers and how do we sell them? First, as with any sale, we must qualify our customer. I have a favorite qualification procedure which, when followed, will allow you to get all the information you need to sell your customer on any product. Put very simply, who, what, when, where, and how much. Asking these questions and listening to your customer should give you all the information you need to do an effective demo and close the sale. How do we close the sale? Ask for it. This is not an unfamiliar instrument that requires learning a new technique. It is an instrument that opens up a whole new world of possibilities using the traditional techniques of woodwind instruments, and any woodwind player is a potential customer. With the information in this video and some time invested by you, the WX7 dealer specialist, we'll be able to put a WX7 in the hands of everyone that should have one. Now, here is Steve to wrap things up.
As you can see, there's a new world of musical possibilities opened up by the WX7. At the end of the sales guide, you'll find a test. Please complete this test and return it to us. Once we get it, of course, we'll check it over. If you pass, you've become a WX7 dealer specialist, and you'll receive a certificate and a jacket. To help you on the test, here's the answer to the final question. If you turn dip switches 1 and 2 on at the same time, what information is breath control then converted to? Well, the answer is, breath control is then converted to both aftertouch and MIDI volume, and both are transmitted. Thank you for your time and good luck selling the Yamaha WX7 Wind MIDI controller.